what I'm going to focus on today is called the runner's lunge, or the deep runner's lunge. And anybody that runs, but if you lift weights, and as far as flexibility, what I say is the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So, sometimes you got to put aside the literature that's saying do stretch, don't stretch, and you kind of have to decide what your body needs. What I can say from experience is that the best athletes have a flexibility strategy. If you want to talk about kettlebells, great example. Definitely one of the greatest kettlebell lifters as an athlete, but also extremely flexible, is Denis Vasiliev. So all kettlebell sport fans know who that is. Very flexible, as well as being, highly conditioned and highly strong. So that's what I would call a complete athlete, a good example. But if you're kind of ignoring your flexibility, you're really not going to be optimized, and you're probably holding on to a lot of tension that you don't need to. So this runner's lunge, or deep runner's lunge, is you're going to have one foot forward, and like everything, there's variations, and probably in certain yoga teachings, they're going to have this leg off the ground. But what we're going to do is just kind of apply it as a general athletic prep. Before, kind of loosely, and then you can go after deeply. Okay, so before running, for example, you can just do some reduced range of motion, just to do a light stretch to kind of work out the tension. And then at the end of running, or the end of your workout, when your body's warm, that's when you're looking to try to go a little further and progress on the flexibility there. Okay, so what you need to really be aware of in this movement, and almost every movement, and really not just related to stretching, but weightlifting and any other type of movement. And what that is the basic alignment that we're looking is we want the hips and the shoulders to be even. We don't want to be in a situation where you're favoring one side in the sense that, okay, I'm able to get deeper, but you're not doing it correctly. And for long-term sustainable progress, and the fastest way you're going to progress in anything is by doing it well, and by not trying to take shortcuts, which end up not being shortcuts because they're taking you in the wrong direction. So stretching probably as much or more than anything else that you could be doing with your training. So you don't want to be doing movements where your hips are uneven, your shoulders uneven, and maybe, yeah, look at me, I can go lower. You're not really in the right position. Okay, so that's really important, that we want to always reference the hips, okay, and the shoulders, and we want that essential symmetry here, not favoring or sitting on one butt cheek or the other. Okay, so you want to always keep that in mind. And then the other big cue with flexibility is you have to be able to relax. Now, in this type of stretching we're doing here is a static, in that you're going to take a position, you're going to hold that position for a period of time, and in doing that you're allowing the tissues to unwind, and you're able even to go deeper, start moving into the connective tissue. Okay, it's a little bit more advanced technique, but the common factor is you have to be able to relax. As soon as you tense, you're creating a pain impulse, you're activating the sympathetic nervous system, so you're getting that kind of fight or flight, and your muscles start holding on to tension because it is sensing that there's danger, it is sensing it has to protect you. So you have to be able to bypass that or short circuit that, or rather, more specifically, you're training so that your default response is not to tense. It's not the sympathetic, it's parasympathetic. You're relaxing, and that's when you're really going to be able to move into it. You start relaxing, and this takes time, but it takes knowledge, and so that's what I want to help you with today. Okay, so the first thing is you take the position, you're going to keep the knee down. Now this front foot, you're going to move it a little bit out to the right. So I have my right foot, I want to move it a little bit out to the right to give me that lane for my hips. Okay, now where you're going to feel it, it will depend on where you're most tight. Hamstrings, glute, back, okay, hip flexors. So those are going to be the main areas, okay? And from here, hips even, shoulders even, and I just come inside. I can move that right foot out. Okay, so you see that I'm keeping my body even here. Okay, I'm not twisting to one side. And from here, we relax and we start moving down. Now, you can't force this. If you're very stiff, you might be getting an intense stretch just here. So now, this is where we can start using some simple tools here. I have a couple, they're called yoga blocks, but one from Trigger Point. This one's a Guyam. I never bought them, they're my wife's, but I use the props available, so. Okay, so here, now I can keep that alignment and I can ease. Okay, so this is one way I can ease. Now from here, I can relax, and as much as possible, I want my back to be flat. I don't want to have this excessive rounding or unnecessary rounding. I want to be long. And as I relax here, already it's starting to unwind. How long I stay here, that's up to me. You kind of have to ease into it. I would suggest at least a minute, but you can certainly do multiple minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes in any posture. Rule of thumb is it feel good, then you can stay there. Okay, but there is a conditioning factor where if you do too much too soon, your body's gonna regret that. So you have to be smart. So you see, I can start lowering. And now this is very convenient because it allows me, if I need less range of motion, but regardless of the range, I can do it correctly. I'm not violating posture to get depth. I'm maintaining correct posture. That's core stability. It's posture. It's alignment. See, so I can relax more into it. Okay, you see, I can relax more into it. Okay, now another way we can do this is, that's why I like having 4, because you can have some for the hands, and now I can rest my chest. You see, and I'm relaxed, and here I can work on lengthening my torso, flattening my back. Okay, so that's another way that you can do it. So there's no rules here. It's just exploration. Meanwhile, I'm starting to relax. Okay, I can come here. I can put my head, maybe just see if I can relax here a little bit more. Okay, maybe I want to try to go a little deeper. So you have to play with it. Or maybe I'm starting still a little tight, but all the while this leg, I'm pushing this leg back. Okay, I don't want this to start creeping up here. I want to keep that hip flexor working. So now, on this, still with the right foot forward, I can actually roll. I can start to roll to the outside of the foot. I can let that right knee float out a little bit, even pushing it, helping it with my arm or my shoulder, but I can let this float out. Okay, and it's, again, you're getting in that lateral hip, okay, that glute. And now I can get my center of mass deeper. So now I'm able to relax on the ground, you see. But it may take you a while. You may have to use those blocks for a while until your body unwinds, but it will. You have to trust. It's the natural way. It's the natural condition is to be supple. Okay, you're born supple. We learn tension. So you're unlearning tension here. That's really one of the keys, but you have to do it with correct alignment. So you see now, you see I'm getting pretty deep into this. It's really a deep runner's lunge at this point. We're taking it beyond lunging here. Okay, but I'm able to relax, and so in relaxing, I can fall deeper and deeper and work into the tissues. See, and I can roll to that outside of the foot, or I can bring the foot flat. You know, so I can, and again, I'm here, play around with the depth. Okay, maybe you need a little higher. A little higher. Maybe you want to relax your head and just kind of camp out here for a while. So we see that in doing that, it allows you to really develop the skill. And so, as has been said about strength is a skill. Flexibility is a skill. Here's some tools for you to work with.